This is the third try at this for my second video. I should warn you all. I'm new to this. I'm learning how to build a format for you so that it kind of stays on track. Let's pick up where we left off. Moved up here from Oklahoma. Live in Cleveland, Ohio now. Moved January 22nd of 2018. I've been up here a little over a year and a half. Reason I moved here is the VA here. I'm a disabled veteran, so the VA here has a clinic specifically for transgender and gender questioning veterans called the GIVE Clinic, and it stands for Gender Identity Veterans Experience. It's a pretty righteous program they've got. It's doctors and mental health professionals and a couple of social workers, and they're specifically tuned up for the trans situation. They're here to help out in all the ways that transgender people typically need help. So it works out pretty good. The reason I sound so funny right now is I had voice surgery 8 days ago. It'd be 9 days ago now because it's 2 a.m. But I had voice surgery, and in doing the voice surgery, there weren't any medical complications. I would say what happened is more of a mechanical complication, because my mouth isn't big enough for the equipment that they shove in to your throat to do the work, the scope and the laser and whatever it is they use to be able to remotely stitch you up and all that. My throat's not quite big enough, so they had one of two choices. They could either back out and not do it, or they could get a bigger hammer. And my doc knows me well enough to know that sometimes bigger hammer's the answer. So in doing that, they injured my tongue. So in order to keep it from hurting, they pumped it full of Novocaine and told me that it would feel fat for a little while, and it definitely feels fat, and that it would be numb, and it's definitely numb. In fact, today is the first day I can really taste food with it, which is a welcome change. And they told me that it would get better, and in a week or two, maybe 3 at most, while all the drugs wears out and everything. So it is getting better. I can actually move it around now with a little bit more control, and so that's nice. And I'm not drooling all over myself, so no embarrassing moments with hot human beings and them seeing me admiring them with drool running down my face. So that's definitely a plus. And they chipped a tooth, and they've offered to fix it, but it's not noticeable and it doesn't cause me pain. So I'm going to go see him again next week, and he's going to look at it, and he's probably going to talk me into letting him fix it, and I'll probably let him, because that's what Cleveland Clinic does. I've had all of my surgeries so far, my gender confirmation surgeries, have been at Cleveland Clinic. About 7 weeks ago maybe, be the 8th of last month, so right at 6.5 maybe. I had top surgery. I went from a 42A to a 44D, which is quite a jump, and it looks really natural, and I really like it. We went with 650 cc's of silicone. And then, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks later, I went in and had an orchiectomy, which is really great. Tucking isn't really a thing I have to do anymore. Just kind of pull on pants and go. Everything kind of lays flat now. It's really nice. Everybody told me that would hurt a lot. I don't know if it's because I was on Lupron for so long, but the next day I was up and bouncing around like always. I didn't have any pain at all. And haven't. Other than the day I went home, I was sore, but no pain, no swelling. Like it was so pain-free that, like I had the surgery on a Friday. Monday I was going to call the nurse and ask her, but she called me, she beat me to it, and asked me how I was feeling, and I said, I'm glad you called because I wanted to talk to y'all. I don't have any pain at all, like not even a little, and not like, like it's numb, like maybe I'll nick something, a nerve or something. No, like I don't have any pain. It feels just fine. And the nurse was really excited about this. She's like, that's really great. That means you're healing up really well. And I was like, okay, that's great, cool. I'd rather not hurt if I have a choice in it. So that worked out. Being in Cleveland's been pretty great. It's been good to me. You'll notice I'm clearing my throat a lot because I'm still coughing up stuff from not talking for a week. So things are still loosening up in my chest, and being in Cleveland, people here, they don't really, I don't know, they don't let their God get in the way of being a decent human, they don't let their preconceived notions of how they should live their life affect how they treat strangers, and that's pretty handy. I mean, it's a nice place to be when it comes to a place to live. So I've been pretty happy here. Made a lot of great friends. Kind of built a new family, to replace some of the ones I lost in my transition. So that's what's been going on with me. Lately, today, I guess yesterday now, I went to a place called Ideal Image. It's a med spa. I call it a McMed spa because they're everywhere, kind of like a McDonald's. And they've got kind of a similar style of business. But I went there for laser hair removal consult, and what attracted me to them was not price. I spent a lot of money with several different laser hair removal places, and I still have hair. I've had at least 10 treatments, and I still have dark hair on my face that grows, and I hate it. So what attracted me to this place was that they have a guarantee. They're not selling you laser hair removal sessions. They're selling you a result. So basically the way it works is I pay them, and when I'm done paying them and they're done doing all the treatments, I'm hair free. And if I do start growing hair again because of like a hormone imbalance, or like, this wouldn't really apply to me, but like if someone had to go off of a testosterone blocker and started growing hair again, or they had an insurance change and couldn't get their hormones or whatever, they have a guarantee to cover you if that happens. So paid like $2,500, and in exchange for that I got a guarantee of no hair, and I'm totally cool with that. And the reason that I was cool with going to a McMed spa is because they're nationwide. And so if I move from here to Seattle or Phoenix or back to Arkansas, or Dallas or anywhere, chances are there'll be one that's close enough to me that I can go to if I need to, and that works for me. But while I was there, I had also noticed that they did Botox, and I had been doing some research on Botox brow lifts and Botox masseter reductions. And so I asked about a brow lift while I was there because I knew it was the cheaper of the two. And they said, yeah, we can do that. And the nurse happened to be there who does the Botox, and she looked at it and was she was like, yeah, we can totally do this. It's going to cost like $320, and it'll kind of give me an idea of what I'm looking at to see if a brow lift is exactly what I want surgically, without having to commit thousands to it. And it's supposed to be good for about 6 months, and who knows, I may hate it, but a lot of people tell me that it'll really help, really help my look. So I'm gonna give it a try and see what I think. I know when I do like this right here, and look in the mirror, it looks a little more feminine. I like it, so I'm gonna give it a shot, see what happens. If I hate it, 3 to 6 months later, it'll be back to normal. If I love it, 3 to 6 months later, I can schedule a surgery. If I can't afford the surgery, then just go in and have them shoot me again with it. See what happens. Let's see. I made notes this time after the third try. Right now, I'm working with my best friend on putting together a program that I call Halo's Home for Wayward Children. Now, anybody who's known me throughout my life knows that I've always brought home stray people who needed a home. Even when I lived in Fort Smith before I transitioned, you could almost always count on somebody living in my house, sleeping on my couch, who didn't have a home for whatever reason. Well, moving up here, I've helped a couple of people from back home move up here to be in a better environment, to be away from the bigotry and the racism and the small minds of southwest Arkansas, or western Arkansas and eastern Oklahoma. And so I've been pretty successful in helping these people get up here and get started. I've had help doing it, which is great. But I was approached by somebody not long ago about a trans girl who is about to be homeless, or who is homeless. She is homeless. Asking if I could help, because they know me, and they've known me since before I moved up. It's actually one of the ladies I moved up here, and I thought about it, so I hit my best friend up, who also happens to be an owner of some rental properties, and I asked him, what he thought about maybe, helping me come up with an idea to help some people out. He's very active in community building and in philanthropy, like local philanthropy. And so I knew he would have some resources, and I knew that there would be a chance that he would help, using his own properties and his own assets. So right now we're looking at, putting together a situation to help some people out, help them find their feet. And in exchange, we'll help them get some resources, food stamps, Section 8 housing, HUD, Medicaid. Medicaid's a big one that I push in helping people get. I've helped a lot of people get on Medicaid. I've helped a lot of people get good care from reputable doctors who otherwise didn't know how to get the care or where to find the doctors for transitional health care for trans people. So that'll be that's kind of the program we're looking to put together. We'll help them get employment. They can basically work off their rent doing community service, at least in the beginning until they find a job. And I think it'll, I hope it goes somewhere. It'd really make me happy if we could set up something. And if we're successful with helping out 2 or 3 people, then great, and who knows, we might get the inspiration to like open an actual shelter, for LGBT people. I don't want to call it a homeless shelter though. I just want to call it a shelter because some of the people that I've helped, they have a home. It's just a terrible home. They're living with people who aren't down with the cause. They don't want to be decent. They don't want to be loving or kind to other people. They just want to tell you how wrong you are and how you're going to hell. And I don't have time for people like that. And I don't think anybody else should have to give people like that their time either. So I've always been happy to help those people. And I'm going to continue to do it here. With the help of some friends. We're going to help some people out, hopefully. Let's see. Also, on the Halos Home for Wayward Children project, it's not going to be centered around just gender non-conforming people and trans people. I also want to, I want to help LGBT people too. And the reason that I really am called to help the trans community this way is because if you're homeless, life sucks. I've been homeless. It's awful. This was before I came out. Being homeless as a trans person is just that much harder because most shelters won't even deal with you. They don't want you there because they don't want to cause problems because you're out of the ordinary. You're not the typical people they help, so they don't know what to do with you. If you're assigned male at birth and you go to a women's shelter, they're going to tell you to go to a men's shelter. If you're assigned male at birth and you go to a men's shelter, they're going to say it's dangerous for you to be here. You need to go to a women's shelter. So what do? You either plead with one of them. You'll probably get further with the men's shelter than you do the women's shelter. Just because that's the way society is. But either way, you're probably going to wind up sleeping with a bunch of men in the same room. And that's, I'm not saying that all men are garbage or that, that homeless people are trash or anything, but it's a dangerous situation to be in a room with a bunch of men looking like a woman because it's what you are, and you don't know them, so you're not going to be comfortable, especially if you have any kind of trauma that any kind of sexual trauma. It's just not a good scene. So there's going to be a whole lot of compromising have to happen for you to get help from the locals. And what our goal is to do is to try to give those gender non-conforming people a place to sleep, and some resources to get them some help. Maybe we can get a partnership going on with a couple of the social worker organizations around here. I'm hoping. I haven't had a chance to talk to them yet. Probably do that next week when my voice starts to get a little stronger. And my tongue doesn't get in the way and I sound like I have a mouthful of peanut butter. But yeah, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to, have an inclusive shelter for people who are typically excluded elsewhere for their own safety. So that's all I've really got to talk about tonight. The goals for this podcast is to kind of give you some insight into the life of an average transgender person, even though I'm not considered typical, because I am a disabled veteran, and I've been really fortunate in that I haven't had to deal with a whole lot of hate in my life. So I wouldn't call my situation typical, but I would say that it's definitely going to give you a better view than Fox News would. So, for my cisgendered followers, I appreciate you coming and watching, trying to catch an education. We need allies. We need all the allies we can get. Just remember that an ally is someone who lends their platform to the people they're trying to help. We don't need you out there screaming in our name. We just need you out there letting us scream from your platform. It's not about you. There's other movements for you, and that's cool. But we'll take all the help we can get. And to my gender non-conforming followers, if you ever need someone to talk to, need advice, give me a shout. You can find me on Facebook, facebook.com/ZoeJaneXY. That's ZoeJaneXY. And you can find me on Instagram under the same handle, ZoeJaneXY. Hit me up, send me a friend request, get in my inbox. I'll help you in a way I can. If you need resources, I can help you find resources if you need. If you need someone to listen, I can listen. If you need somebody to give you advice, I can give you advice. If you need somebody to throw a hug on you and tell you it's going to be okay, if you're local, I'll help you. If you're not, I'll find someone who's local to you that can. Because I've been there. And I don't want anybody to ever have to be there by themselves. But yeah, that's all I really got to say tonight. Y'all have a great night, and stay strong and stay safe.